Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our 5-number summary, which is 74, 78, 85, 91, 98, and we're going to make a box plot. We're going to do 2 box plots. And I'm going to show you the one that they're going to use the most on the test, okay? And the one that we use the most anyways. So if you haven't already, make sure those numbers are in your list. So I am going to make sure those numbers are in my list. Stat, edit. There are the numbers. Perfect. Okay, so how we're going to make a box plot. We're going to hit second y equals. And you're going to come to this plot thing. Now, all the blur plots should be off. We're going to hit enter and we're going to come up with this. Notice that there are 2 plots. We scroll down and then we're going to scroll over. That first one is called a modified box plot. So this first one is called a modified box plot. The reason it's called modified is because it shows you those outliers, okay? The other one is a box plot. I can show you the regular box plot. It won't ever show you the outliers. Anytime you make a box plot in stats, I need you to always make a modified because you always want to show those outliers. Well, yesterday, when we did the 1.5 IQR rule, right, there was no outliers. So our box plot won't show any outliers. So I want you to hit enter. And then, where did you put your data? In my calculator, it's in list 1. Your calculator might be list 2, list 3, I don't know. Okay. Then we're going to scroll down. Always, you guys, always your frequency is 1. It never changes. It's always 1. And then see the mark? That is how you're going to identify, if it has outliers, that's how you're going to identify the outliers, okay? So it doesn't matter which one you pick. It's not right or wrong. Because my eyesight is not as good as it used to be, I always pick the larger version. And just like we did with histograms, you guys, we're going to hit zoom 9. Zoom 9. Notice that there's no outliers, there's no dots, because we proved yesterday that there's no outliers. So this is a box plot, okay? And we can look at the center 50% of the data. So this right here is the minimum. This is quartile 1. This line right here is the median. This line is quartile 3. And then this line down here is the maximum. So again, min, quartile 1, median, quartile 3, maximum. There's no dots, so we have no outliers. If we were to talk about shape in this particular one, what would you say it would be? So when you talk about shape, really kind of want you to look at the middle 50%. So what's going on with the box, not the whiskers? Because remember when you were younger, I think they called it the box and whisker plot. Now it's a box plot. We kind of chop off whisker. So we're going to look at the box. So what does the box look like to you? Yeah, it does, right? It looks roughly symmetrical. You can tell that there might be a little gap right there. It's pretty spread out though, right? The middle 50% of the data, because it goes from 78 to 91. What did we say that was? 91 minus 78. How much did we say that was? Yes. What was it? 13. So it's 13 points. Like there's a gap of 13 points in the middle 50% of the data. So I just want to show you something real quick that I think you don't have to know how to do this, but I just want to show you. Okay, so what I did is I changed my window a little bit. And so now you can see what a histogram versus the box plot looks like. It's not great, but you can see some symmetric. I mean, it goes up and down. We can change it. We can adjust it. But there's a lot of times that when you're looking at this, You gotta think in your head visually of what maybe a box plot looks like. Not a box plot, a histogram comparison. They do like to do that. Sometimes they like to give you a box plot and they say which histogram goes with the box plot. Sometimes they'll give you a box plot and they'll ask you which histogram goes with the box plot. So sometimes, I'm not gonna always say it's easy because our box plot is roughly symmetrical, but you can see that there's some data out here. I mean, you know, it's not great, it dips a little bit, but it's not horrible. And you knew that something was gonna happen over here. But look at this is pretty symmetrical. But we could change it. What was the lowest again? 74. So we can make that. And the maximum was 98. See what happens when you change it? Did anything happen to the box plot? The box plot pretty stayed consistent. What's changing? When you change the window, what is changing? I just want to show you what happens when I zoom 9 it. Zoom 9 is, it interferes, that's why. But now look at that kind of looks skewed, right? And you can tell because this is down here, but if you look at the middle 50%, that median is kind of in the middle. So you can say it's roughly symmetrical. Okay. That was that.